Yeah, so I guess to kind of where to start was losing my dad when I was 15. I was a sophomore in high school. I just finished my junior varsity football season. Lost him. Did not see it coming. We were really close. Sports were kind of our bond. And it got really hard to keep playing sports without him because he was always a great resource for me. And like I said, it was something we bonded over with a lot. And yeah, there were times in that next football season, it would have been my first varsity football season, where I thought, I don't want to go to college. I definitely didn't think college sports were going to happen because of the just emotional stress I knew it would cause me at some point. But the recruiting process kind of drew me back in and helped me find out that I had an opportunity that not a lot of people could have. And I wanted to take that opportunity and just kind of trust that I would have the toughness to see it through. And when I got here, things were very up and down. There were definitely some times where, like if it was a tough practice where I knew there was probably going to be some punishment conditioning, I knew it was going to be a tough practice. Like there were times where I found myself like, facing my hands, like sitting there like I can't see this through. And I remember specifically feeling that way in my redshirt sophomore year, so my third season, and I remember thinking like, I don't think I can finish this. But the help of my teammates and coaches and just kind of being around the sport, or being around the guys, definitely helped me carry forward. And I was fortunate and blessed to say, and proud to say that I was able to finish as a football player despite all that anxiety and depression and just stress I felt from things from my past. So, well, there's kind of a saying when you lose someone traumatically like that, the second year is harder than the first. So kind of like throughout my sophomore year of high school, it wasn't as bad. It wasn't until I got to the start of my junior year, like starting something fresh, all the new stresses of harder classes and football being harder, and not having that, not having that role model there to talk to and see every day. That definitely is when I noticed like this is really tough. And that whole year was really hard. I can't really say I enjoyed my junior year of high school very much. It really wasn't until probably 2 years after he died where I kind of started to feel myself coming back to normal, and got into the college application process and actually going to see schools and their football programs and getting offers that I kind of was able to kind of come to grips with it a little bit more. But it was still hard. And I remember that summer before my first college football season, and having tremendous anxiety because I knew it was coming at me, 100 miles an hour. And it was just kind of bringing back some of those old feelings. But like I said, you just kind of had to trust and just take it day by day. And eventually you figure it out. I remember the first real coping method I had at Grand Valley was talking to my position coach, Coach Morrison, in my first ever exit interview. I kind of was like, I didn't even know he knew about my past or what happened to me. And I kind of was like, hey, this is something about me. It kind of, it hurts from time to time, this and that. And he's like, I know. He's like, I don't think a kid should ever have to go through that. And it was just all support. He's like, whatever you need, let me know. Let me know when you're having a hard day, and I'm gonna help you the best I can get through this. He's like, I can't fix the problem, but I can certainly be a coping method for you. So that kind of meant a lot. And I carried forward and had a conversation with Coach Mitchell about it that I remember very well. And those were kind of like the first instances of going and kind of seeking help. It tamed it for that time being, but it kind of comes and goes. So like later on, there would be times where it would hurt, and I would experience emotions I hadn't felt in a while, I never felt before, and the GVSU Counseling Center was a big part of that, helping me with that. I went to 4 or 5 sessions in my last winter as a student here, and that really helped me get through that last tough semester I had going into my 9th semester, or my last football season. So that was definitely helpful. It just felt like you were kind of unloading some weight, taking some weight off your back, and knowing that you had guys out there that were watching over you and cared about your mental health and wanted you to still be around, and were that support system, that kind of eye in the sky, always kind of keeping an eye on you, was definitely nice. And yeah, like I said, it was kind of like lifting some of the burden. It's never really fully lifted, but unloading those things, whether it's to a teammate, a coach, a counselor. When I look back on the worst moment of my time at Grand Valley, when I was like shaking and thinking I was gonna quit, I was on the car ride here, I was thinking to myself, that whole fall camp and most of that semester, I didn't unload, I didn't tell anybody. And no wonder it was so bad, because I never told my roommate or a fellow teammate. I didn't talk to my coaches at that time. But looking back, I wish I would have. And it's good to be able to look back and say, I've learned. But I mean, my advice to anybody would be, when you're feeling overwhelmed and like the stress is getting to be too much, you gotta unload that, because if you don't, it'll eventually unload on you. So I just get it out, get it out. I would say something I've been working through for these past 7 years is just, you gotta find a peace of mind, and you gotta find a way to manage those stresses without letting them take you over. You just kind of gotta learn that this is your thing, and and there are lots of people go through lots of different things, but this is your thing. And I guess you've got to be patient, and you've got to trust that there are people that will listen to you and will help you take those burdens off you. You've just got to trust them, and just trust in the process that sometimes mental health, it doesn't come easy, and you've got to be patient, and you got to take it slow sometimes, but it will get better. It can be done. So I guess kind of what I've been hitting on is, don't be scared or don't feel weird about opening up to someone and unloading, and like just sharing some of your stress or some of your anxiety, some of your depression. Just be true to yourself and be honest, because I can, they're your teammates, or they're your coaches, or they're the counselors. They want to help you. This is sports. Teamwork is everything, and I think just unloading that burden or stress, that's the first step, and that's probably the most important step. Thanks for listening.